Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams. So today, Wednesday, 17th January 2024, and carrying on with our Jaiva Dharma reading and study. So Hare Krishna to everybody. We'll have a kirtan and then we'll begin. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari 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 Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Oh Hare Ramo 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 Hare Hare Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo. Oh, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai, Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai. Oh, Jaya Sachi Nandan, Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachi Nandan, Jaya Gaura Hari. Oh, Jaya Radha, Madana Mohan Radha, Madana Mohan Radhe. Jaya Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe, Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe. Oh, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe. Jai Shri Shri Guru Garanga Ganhabhika Giridhari Radha Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai Vrishabhanu Nandini Vajeshwari Radharani Ki Jai Nityananda Rai Ki Jai Satchinandana Gaura Hari Ki Jai Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Surabhi Kunj Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Astotar Sarashishimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarasara Shishimad Shila Bhaktivedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarasara Shishimad Shila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Jagat Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarasara Shishimad Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Paramahamsa Mahabhagavat Srila Gaurikishoras Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Saptam Goswami Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Jai Vaishnav Sabhaboma Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan Gaudi Vedantaracharya Ki Jai Srila Vishnath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai Jai Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Treya Ki Jai Jai Srila Krishnas Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Shivata Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhattadasaragana Sad Goswami Prabhu's Ki Jai. Jai Swarab Damodar Rai Ramananda Gauda Parsada Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haras Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sikha Holsi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Shri Gauda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Dwadasa Varmatmaka Brajamandal Ki Jai. Shri Radhakun, Shamakun, Tulsi Devi, Bhakti Devi ki jai. Srimati Brinda Devi Maharani ki jai. Srimati Yogamaya Punamasi Devi Maharani ki jai. Gopishwa Mahadev ki jai. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra ki jai. Ketra Mandal ki jai. Sarva Vignasa Nasikari. Shri Nrsingadev Bhagavan ki jai. Bhakta Prabha Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. Charidam ki jai. Chari Sampradaya ki jai. Chari Acharya ki jai. Akara Mat Raj ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Mat ki jai, Shri Devananda Mat ki jai, Shri Keshavji Gaudiya Mat ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Anantakota Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gatavrinda ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Om Aginati Mirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Jena Tasmaya Shri Guruve Namaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarabhaktaya Namo Namaha Priya Surupe Daita Surupe Prema Surupe Sahajabi Rupe Nijana Rupe Papueka Rupe Tatana Rupe Swavilasa Rupe Anapita chirim chirat kuranavartano kalo samarpaitam unnata ujvala rasam svabhakti shriyam Hari purata sundaratu tikatam vasudipita sada hridare kandare spuratu vasachinandanaha Yam pravajantamanapetyam apetykrityam dvaipaino viraha katara ajuhava putre titam mayatayo tarvo vinidustam sarvabhutam hridim munimanatoshmi Bhaktya vihina aparara lakshay shiptascha karmaditarangamadye Kripamai tvam sharanam prapana brinde namaste charanarabindam Bhajami radham arabindanetram smarami radham madhurashmitasyam Vadami radham karuna barodram tato mamanasti kapi Tavaivasmi najivami tvaivina iti vignaya radhe tvam nayamam charanantikam. And first of all, offering millions and millions of Dandavat pranams unto the lotus feet of my beloved Gurudev Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Asto Tarsarashi Shimad Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And the same again, millions and millions of times, unto the lotus feet of our beloved Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Asto Tarsarashi Shimad Shila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada. And unto Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namane Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Shila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. And all our illustrious Rupanuga Guru Vargya, my Dandavat pranams, and to all the Vaishnav and Vaishnavi devotees of the Lord, my Dandavat pranams to all of you. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhavevacha Patitanam Pavnavyo Vaishnave Namo Namaha. So continuing with our reading and glorification by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur with his Fal Shruti. So we're into the last four. So on 831. Jaiva Dhamma Pateshe Shura Bhakti Hoy Jaiva Dhamma Napadile Kave Bhakti Noy.
One who reads Jaiva Dharma with faithful deliberation will surely attain Shuddha Bhakti. But one who does not read Jaiva Dharma can never attain Bhakti.
So how do we attain Shuddha Bhakti? This is what's described on every single chapter. It's not Kam Yoga. It's not Gyan Yoga. It's not Ashtanga Yoga. These are all Naimitic Dharmas. But they're all Dharmas in a ladder, culminating in Bhakti Yoga. If you separate them and say, oh, I'm a Kama Yogi, I'm a Jnani Yogi, that creates a whole separate entity, so to speak. But they're not to be separated. They're all linked in a ladder, the yoga ladder, that culminates in Shuddha Bhakti. So that's the progression Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving us in practically every single chapter. He's describing what is naimitic and what is nitya, what is material and what is spiritual. It's just like the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. This is the first teaching of spiritual life. We have to appreciate what is matter and what is spirit. Once we are in knowledge of that, then we can make intelligent decisions in our lives about everything, about our medicine, our place of living, etc., There's nothing that doesn't come under this category. Because if we're focused and we're utilizing our God given intelligence to discern what is matter and what is spirit, then I will always, Srila Bhakti Rakshakshira Maharaj, he said, the environment is always favorable for bhakti. It's always favorable. Even in the most ghastly situations, we should see that there's something here that Krishna is trying to indicate to me and take advantage of that. Like now, previously we had that COVID crisis, right? A couple of years ago. So many advantages there. The devotees could like rein in more. They didn't, air travel was restricted. So many things were actually supportive of bhajan. And if the devotee is looking at every single instance like that, even in times of crisis, we should understand, where is the opportunity. We see Prahlad Maharaj, he lived in a whole world of crisis. Every single day, his father trying to trample him with elephants, poison him, throw him off cliffs, freeze him, etc. So many things he was doing, yet he never um, turned from Krishna. And what we're discussing in our chapter 7 is Jiva Tattva, when the Jiva has turned away from Krishna, Vimuk, and that's why he's suffering. I explained that wonderful equation yesterday or the day before, how we turn away from Krishna and what automatically happens. Material desires must spring in the heart to connect with matter. I'm trying to connect with matter. I've disassociated myself with spirit. So the next alternative, the only alternative, is matter. And then that equals suffering because the spirit soul cannot enjoy matter. Completely impossible. The spirit soul is made of transcendental substance. And we want to connect with that transcendental substance through Shuddha Bhakti. So this is the intelligent person's goal. So saying that reads Jaiva Dharma with faithful deliberation will surely attain Shuddha Bhakti. There's no doubt of this. Rupanuga Abhiman Pate Drita Hoy Jaiva Dharma Vimukake Dharma Hine Koi.
Faithfully reading Jaiva Dharma will surely strengthen one's Abhiman as a Rupanuga, follower of Sri Rupa Goswami. One who is averse to reading Jaiva Dharma is certainly devoid of religious principles.
Without Srila Rupa Goswami as our guiding captain, we can say, of the whole ship of the Gaudiya line, then we are bereft of the mercy from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu comes once only in a day of Lord Brahma, once every 8,640,000,000 years. That's how often Mahaprabhu comes. And he comes to unpack, basically, the incredible pastimes that Krishna performed in the 5,000 years previously. When Krishna comes, he only comes to relish Leela Purushottam. He's coming to relish his Leelas. And Mahaprabhu is coming to, he's Prem Purushottam. He's coming to actually give Prem. This is the most phenomenal gift conceivable. But it only happens this once in every seventh Manvantara in the day. And in the 28th Dwarpa Yuga, Krishna comes. And then every time straight after, Mahaprabhu comes immediately after Krishna in every day of Lord Brahma. But it's only the one window that we actually have to connect. Because prior to this, as I've said so many times, practically speaking, Raganuga Bhakti was not practiced much. It was not fluently. It was not something that you could, it was too esoteric. It's like in most religions today, well, to say Christianity, they have the Christian mystics, which are very exclusive. And then in Islam, you have the Sufis, which are also very exclusive. So this Rag Mag is also exclusive, yet it is for the whole world. If the world wants to take it, the option is there, because not taking it means that I'm inclined to Vaidhi Bhakti. And what is the destination of a Vaidhi Bhakta? At best, is Vaikuntha Dham. What is Vaikuntha Dham? It's the place of 4 glorious liberations. Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, Sharsti. These 4 liberations are there. So it's like a region of liberation. It's beyond uh, the Brahmajyoti. It's more than the merging into the Brahman, because there's some relationship with Krishna there. But it's restricted by this mood of Krishna is so superior. And this was what most conditioned souls considered was the supreme goal for so long. It's such a rare thing, Sudulabha. It's so rare. And if we get this opportunity in this life, don't think that every single life after this opportunity is going to come. If we've been blessed with this birth at this time, it's a tremendous fortune. But it's only going to be the tremendous fortune if I capitalize on it and disregard everything else just for this one birth and try to drink this nectar of understanding what is Raganuga Bhakti. And the only way we can follow Raganuga Bhakti is to follow Rupa Goswami Pad. And Rupa Goswami is just telling us to follow in the wake of the gopis. That's what Raganuga Bhakti means. It means following the Rag Atmikas. Their Atma is completely purified. We are Raganuga, Rupanuga sadhaks. We are following in the wake of the Ragatmikas. The Ragatmikas, Lalita, Vishaka, Champakalata, Chitra, etc. Those eternal spiritual associates of Radha and Krishna. We're following them. So we should take advantage. Yava jivane jay pade jaiva dhamma bhaktiman sejana brita jnana karma.
One who faithfully reads Jaiva Dharma throughout his entire life will be endowed with bhakti and will surely realize the futility of jnana and karma.
What a gift. What a fortune. We just have to read this. Because this, as I've said many times, is the same as Srimad Bhagavatam. It has all the essence and truth of Srimad Bhagavatam. It has all the essence of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is quoting extensively from these 2 scriptures, plus the Hari Bhakti Vilas by Sanatana Goswami, plus so many from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami. So all these scriptures, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was capable of assimilating the essence, knowing that this is the age of Kali when men's minds are very easily distracted, that he made this compilation of just 40 chapters for our meditation, and very simply divided into 3 sections. Up to the 12th chapter, it's just Sambandha Gyan. After that, it's the Dasamula. Then after that, it's the Rasa Tattva. So we have these sections. We can section it down so the whole granta becomes more accessible. You understand? Krishnera Ramala Seva Labi Senara Seva Sukhe Magnaraha Sada Krishna Para.
Such a man, being fully devoted to Shri Radha Krishna Yugal Kishore and having attained their Amal Prem Seva, remains forever merged in the bliss of such immaculate loving service.
Yes. Eternally we will remain submerged in that bliss, because our subject matter today is about the soul. This is what we discussed yesterday. Chandidas, he's asking through Yadav Das, they're asking Ananta Das, the nature of the soul. And yesterday we discussed how the jiva, he comes into this mundane existence due to his own desire. It's like there is a point in the Tatashta region where we make that monumental decision, because we have an option to either go straight back immediately and serve the Lord in Vaikuntha or in Goloka Vrindavan or in Dwarka or Mathura. We have that opportunity straight away. Or we can choose to exploit this material world. But understand one thing always, that decision is a decision that's ongoing. How many times today have we turned away from our best interest. How many times before we go to sleep tonight will we turn away from Krishna? So this being vimukh, turning away from Krishna, is not just a historic decision. It's a daily occurrence in our lives that we can appreciate. We said before that if we're always thinking that, how can I catch up that mood of service? Of course, it's a lot easier initially when you're in an institutional environment and you're given many savors. But then after a while, that institutional environment will become restrictive because within an institution, Bhakti Devi is very hard to flourish because an institution has to have rules and regulations guiding a large group of devotees. And if everyone is very independently minded, which is what Bhakti Devi offers, that's what happens when you become really immersed purely in devotion. Then you have to actually go your own way, so to speak, but according to Shastra. But every individual will have a different inclination in that way. So it's very hard to for the wings to spread within that environment. But still, it's very supportive initially because the precepts of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, etc., are very easy to access. There's always Bhagavatam classes going on, there's devotees. But what is my personal objective? We can get caught up in so many distracting priorities. That's not just in an but in life, where we put this. This is what I mean about turning away from Krishna. This is what it means about turning away from Krishna. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling us clearly what is naimitic and what is nitya. It's not just speaking about this, but it's actually acting on it to find any sort of fulfillment, bringing these truths into our lives. That means hearing daily. So we read these incredible conceptions of what is ahankta and what is the mamata, conception of mine, I and mine. And then we talked about the spirit soul and his being bound by his material desires. And now at the bottom of page 133, we come to some questions by Yadav Das. He says, why is it that our true identity does not become manifest despite significant endeavor? So this is a very powerful question. We seem to be endeavoring, but it's not by my own effort that this truth is going to manifest in my chesta must be there to some degree, but with knowledge, knowing that it's Guru who's actually going to inspire my heart in the right direction. We can't personally crash the gates of heaven. We should know that. It's not Aroha Panta. It's not the ascending path. It's the Avaroha Panta. The heart should be soaked in prayer and humility towards Radha and Krishna's pastimes and being guided by Sadguru. So then Anantadas, there are two types of endeavor, appropriate and inappropriate. Appropriate endeavors will certainly dissipate false egoism, but how can inappropriate endeavors do so? So he's more or less staging the question himself, Anantadas Babaji, for the next section. We read this yesterday, but I'm just recapping briefly. Yadav Das, what are inappropriate endeavors? Now, all these inappropriate endeavors will come under the one category of naimitic dharma. We should become very familiar with these terminologies. Incorporate them in our daily language. Oh, Prabhu, that's naimitic. And then the light should go on. Oh, yes, this is temporary. Because I know now what is eternal. This is called education. Realized. We want it to become realized by the power of our chanting and our sadhana. Our chanting, it will become realized. So Ananta says some people think that their hearts will be purified if they follow karmakand, that they will be liberated from maya when they practice brahmagyan. So these are two nimitic dharmas. This type of endeavor is inappropriate if it's not on the one ladder. If your gyan bhakti is not aimed at Shuddha bhakti, then it's useless. It has to be aimed at that. Like our sadhan has to be aimed at bhav bhakti. Klesh agni shubhada. This is sadhan bhakti. When the sufferings are incinerated. Klesh agni shubhada. And this is very auspicious. Then moksha lukhatakrit. This is when I look with disdain on moksha. That's bhav bhakti. And then I'm going towards this Sandra Ananda Visheshatma, Sri Krishna Akashani Chasa. I'm going towards what is prem, and that is very, very rare. You cannot contain prem in this body, but we can reach the stage of bhav. That is within our grasp. This type of endeavor is inappropriate. Others think that by practicing Astanga Yoga, they will enter a trance of Samadhi Yoga and attain perfection. This is another inappropriate endeavor. There are many other types as well. So it's just education that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving us. What is Naimitic and what is Nitya? That's the breakdown of it. Yadav, why are these endeavors inappropriate? And this is where we reached yesterday. Anantadas, these methods are unsuitable because practicing them creates many obstacles that impede the attainment of one's desired goal. In addition, there is only a meager possibility of attaining that goal. If I'm practicing karma yoga, that means that I'm wanting some material gains and assets. That's what karma yoga means. Like, who is the supreme example of that in the Bhagavatam is Dhruva Maharaj. He was a Sakam Karma Bhakta. He wanted a kingdom greater than his great grandfather. He had a material desire which was propelling him to do his austerities. But as soon as he saw Krishna, then those desires just ran away. He said, I was searching for broken glass, but I found a jewel instead. So his life changed. The point is that our material existence has come about because of an offense, and unless we obtain the mercy of the person whom we offended, we will not gain release from our material condition and attain pure spiritual condition. So our offense was to Krishna. And who is that person who is Krishna in this world for us? It's Guru. Guru is that representative. Sakshata vitre nasamasta shastra. Guru and Krishna are non-different because they both have the same desire for the jiva's welfare. So Guru is that person where we can make amends, so to speak. If I'm sincere, then I will give all my life and soul to benedicting that Sadguru, that person who will carry me into transcendence. Because without Guru, there's no question that from a material situation, transcendence can manifest. There has to come from the outside transcendence. I've given the example many times of the wood that can never be. Fire is dormant within all wood, but that fire will never be ignited till another piece of wood touches it, and then it can blaze. So similarly, Sadguru has that fire already blazing. He can touch us, and then that fire can be ignited within us. Yadavadas, what are appropriate endeavors? Anantadas, Sadhu Sangha, straight away, Sadhu Sangha, immediately. I said a few times now, these five principal angas of bhakti, Sadhu Sangha, Nam Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravanam, Mathura Vas, and Sri Murtaya Shradaya Sevaya. These five are the principal angas. There's 9 angas, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanam. These 9, but then they're broken down to 5. And the first of those is Sadhu Sangha, qualified Sadhu Sangha, because this is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga's cheating propensities are at their pinnacle. They're on every street corner practically. Some guru telling you he'll give you a mantra and then you will go. So if you're in this type of knowledge, you won't be hoodwinked. You won't be cheated. Sadhu Sangha, association of devotees, and prapati, surrender. Tadvini pranipatena. And that pranipatena means submissively. Tadvidi pranipatena, submissively. And then pariprashnena means questions. I submissively ask questions and then perform seva. These 3 stages. We find the following statement about Sadhu Sangha in Srimad Bhagavatam 11:2-30.
अत आत्यान्तिकं क्षेमं पृच्छामो भवतो नगः संसारेऽस्मिन् क्षणार्धोऽपि सत्सङ्ग सेवादिर्निर्नाम्.
O sinless one, Krishna is speaking. O sinless one, we are inquiring from you about the supreme benefit. No, it's not Krishna speaking. I think it's Uddhav. Yes. We are inquiring you about the supreme benefit. In this material world, even half a moment's association with a Shuddha Bhakta is the greatest wealth for human beings. It's like, reminds me of Shukadev Goswami when he was in the womb of his mother. And he told his father, Vyasadeva, I won't come out of the womb. He was there for 12, 16 years, whatever. And he said, I won't come out until Krishna comes in front of me and assures me that I won't be covered by your illusory energy. So Vyasadeva went and called Krishna. Krishna came in front. And then Krishna said, I will give you as much time as there is when a mustard seed is placed on the horn of a cow. How much time is that? It's like a moment. It's like this moment sadhu sangha. That was enough for a window to open. If you have a moment association with a Mahabhagavat, it's enough to give us the reality of the identity of a Mahabhagavat. If you saw Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada just for one moment, it's enough to make that impression in the heart, to be convinced, because we may hear and read about these, but to actually see that enlightened person is a big difference when everything will just open up in an instant. So sadhu sangha, even for a moment. If one asks, did I just read that? If one asks how jivas who have fallen into this material existence can attain their supreme benefit, I will reply that it can be attained by having satsanga, even for half a moment. I was sharing it the other day. My Gurudev is saying that even performing bhajan, chanting so many rounds, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh a day, is not going to reach transcendence. What will reach transcendence is developing this Vishrambha Seva, this Seva with Gurudev. Unless we have this connection with Sri Guru, because he's going to give it to us. It's not something that the spirit soul is already there, transcendence. What's that Nitya Siddha, that verse I was saying yesterday? Nitya Siddha, oh, I have to get that verse. I can't believe I've forgotten it. Nitya Siddha Kabunai. Nitya Siddha. This is the most common verse. I can't believe I've forgotten it. Nitya Siddha Kabunai. Excuse me, just have to wait a second. I just have to catch this verse. Nityasiddha kabunai. Nityasiddha Krishna Prem. This is a really basic verse, and I've just forgotten it. Nityasiddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kabunai. That this Krishna Prem is an eternal reality within the jiva. Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta. Shuddha Chitta Koreya Udai. Krishna Prem is a potentiality that is eternally which eternally exists in the hearts of the living entities, just like the fire example I just said. It is not brought about by sadhan. That's what I'm saying. It's not brought about by sadhan, it's brought about by guru igniting that. It manifests itself by the mercy of a Nitya Siddha Guru in the heart purified by sadhan. We attain sukriti by our sadhan, but it's Guru's connection that's going to ignite the connection, the performance of the various limbs of bhakti, such as Shravan and Kirtan. So this is a very powerful verse. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhu Kabunai Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Korea Udai. Anyway, where are we? Prapti is described in Bhagavad Gita 7:14 as follows: Daivi Esha Gunamayi
दैवी एष गुणमयि मम माया दुरत्यया मामेवि माम एव ये प्रपद्यन्ते मयाम
Mayam.
एताम तरन्ति ते.
This divine potency of mine, known as Daivi Maya, consists of the three modes of nature: Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Human beings cannot cross over this Maya by their own efforts, and therefore it is very difficult to overcome. Only those who surrender unto me can cross beyond this potency of mine. So how can you surrender to Krishna? Can you do it directly? Can you just directly walk into Krishna's presence? Can you even get that access? When the Kumars, they went to Vaikuntha, how did they go to Vaikuntha? On the mercy of Narad. They went to Vaikuntha. It was by his direction. They were self-satisfied, Atmaram, rishis in Tapaloka. But on the mercy, on the indication of Narad, they approached the gates of Vaikuntha, and then they cursed Jai and Vijay, etc., that pastime. Chandidas, O great soul, I cannot understand your explanation very well. He means he doesn't realize. You can understand it with the words, but how much do we realize in our consciousnesses? How much has it stuck? I have understood that we are pure entities, and that due to our forgetfulness of Krishna, we have fallen into the hands of Maya and are bound in this world. If we obtain Krishna's mercy, we can be delivered again. Otherwise, we will remain in the same condition. So Chandidas has already received Krishna's mercy by being kicked out of his house and his family taking all his wealth. That's Krishna's mercy directly. He won't consider that as Krishna's mercy at the time, but in reflection and retrospect, he will understand that was so much mercy. And coming to Navadvip Dham with the Vaishnavi. So all this is direct Krishna's mercy. Anantadas, yes, for now it is sufficient for you to believe this much, because there is more. We will discover in the 16th chapter particularly. There's so much more to the topic of Jiva Tattva. It's ongoing. It concerns us. Yadav Das Mahashai clearly understands all these truths. Gradually you will come to understand these things from him. Yes, it's by ongoing association. It's not just first time in. Yes, someone will tell you, like, it's a whole rearrangement of our consciousnesses. It's like we have been conditioned and blanketed, not just this birth, but many, many births, to consider this material world to be the most important priority in my life. What will I achieve in this world? My mother is telling me to achieve, my father is telling me to achieve, my grandfather is expecting me to achieve. How many people are surrounded by relatives who don't have expectations of them? They believe that their happiness will come from material prosperity. Very few gifted souls get the right direction from an early childhood. And that's called sukriti, sanskar. That's good fortune. That good fortune is so much needed to carry us through. So either this life or the next life, etc. We're building our sukritis, our bank balance, so to speak. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada said, all this will come into our next life and we'll start off where we concluded, but we should make the most of the time we are here. Gradually you will come to understand these things from him. Sri Jagadananda has written a beautiful description of the variegated conditions of the jivas in his book Prema Vivart 6, 1-13.
Chitkana Jiva, Krishna Chinmaya Bhaskara, Nitya Krishna Deki, Krishna Karen Adara, Krishna Bahir Mukha Hona, Bhog Vancha Kare, Nikatastaha Maya Tare, Japatiya Dhare.
The jiva is an infinitesimal particle of spiritual consciousness, like an atomic particle of light emanating from the sun. Sri Krishna is the complete spiritual consciousness, the transcendental sun. As long as jivas focus their attention on Krishna, they maintain reverence for him. However, when they turn their attention away from Krishna, they desire material enjoyment, and that brings suffering. Krishna's deluding potency, Maya, who is standing near them, then binds them in her embrace. That
Pishach,
one paragraph says everything. It encapsulates everything. It's the bhakti sa, the essence. Yes, carry on.
Pishachi Paile Jain Mati Chan Hoy, Maya Grasta Jivera Hoy, Te Bhav Uday.
The dharma of the jiva who has turned away from Krishna becomes covered, just as a person's intelligence becomes covered when he is haunted by a witch. We get illusioned. The witch of Maya, Pischachi. What's that? Bhukti Mukti Spriha Yavat? Pischachi, Hridi, Vartante. These witches of the heart have to be, first of all, acknowledged. It's like if we're mad and we don't acknowledge our madness, we'll always be mad. But if we acknowledge our madness, yes, I'm mad, then there's hope for sanity. Or like a drunk. If a drunk, an alcoholic, and this is very common, they don't actually confess to themselves. They don't acknowledge that they have this habitual problem. Therefore, they remain in that problem. So the first thing is to cite my debility. And in this case, we can examine ourselves. We're given enough inspiration from Shastra, from Sadhu, to become reflective on these topics and examine within myself what is in my best interest now. If I'm dedicating my life for the welfare of my soul exclusively, and more exclusively as the days go by, then only success can be in my life. Okay.
Ami Siddha Krishna Das, Ei Katha Bhule, Mayara Napara, Hana Chira Dira Bhule.
He forgets Bhagavan's identity and his own identity as a servant of Hari. Becoming a slave of Maya, he wanders here and there for a long time in this bewildering material existence. Brahman Konite Konye Bhagavan Jiva, Guru Krishna Prasad Hoy, Bhakti Lata Beach. For many, many births, I've just been wandering through these different Brahmans. Do we believe it? No. You should say yes. We believe it, but we can't believe it sufficiently. So that is also graded. How deep does our faith go? Bhaktivinoda Thakur was saying specifically today in the Falshruti, faithfully reading, faithfully following Rupa Goswami, faithfully, faith again, this deepening of Shraddha. Shraddha is the first stage.
Kabu Raja,
Graja,
Kabu
Kabu
Praja,
Graja,
Kabu
Kabu
Vipra Shudra,
Viprasodara.
Kabu Dukhi, Kabu Sukhi, Kabu Kita Shudra.
Sometimes he is a king, and sometimes a subject, sometimes a Brahmana, and sometimes a Shudra. Sometimes he is happy, sometimes distressed, and sometimes he is a tiny insect. So all that was unpacked completely in those previous paragraphs about our ahankta, this different stages of egoism, different identity, abhimans.
Kabu Swarge, Kabu Mritye, Narke Va Kabu, Kabu Deva, Kabu Daitya, Kabu Dasha Prabhu.
Sometimes he is in heaven, sometimes on earth, and sometimes in hell. Sometimes he is a deva, and sometimes a demon. Sometimes he is a servant, and sometimes he is a master. Remember who Jagadananda is, who's writing this. He's Satyabhama in Dwarka, and he has very wonderful, contrary relationship with Mahaprabhu. They were school friends from the whole life. He's been with Mahaprabhu. And remember the time when he brought some oil for Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu rejected that oil. He brought that oil, that fragrant oil, all the way from Bengal into Puri, into Orissa. And Mahaprabhu said, what, do you want to make me like a dari, like some effeminate type of sannyasi? He said, take the oil and give it to the Jagannath temple where it'll be utilized. What did Jagadananda do?
Right.
He smashed the whole thing right in the courtyard. So all the oil was fragrant in Mahaprabhu's Gambira for months and months and months and months. So he had his way in the end. And then he went to his room and locked the door for 3 days. And Mahaprabhu was coming after 3 days. Come, cook for me. Immediately, Jagadananda, he got up and he cooked. And then Mahaprabhu remarked that even when you're angry, your cooking tastes like nectar. But he had this remarkable relationship with Mahaprabhu because of his contrary nature. And Mahaprabhu would tolerate that. So many different instances. But this is who is giving us this beautiful bhajan now.
E Rup Samsara Brahmite Kon Jana Sadhu Sange Nija Tattva Avagata Hana.
As he is wandering like this throughout material existence, if by some great good fortune he happens to obtain the association of pure bhaktas, he comes to know of his own identity, and his life then becomes meaningful. What is his identity? Jivera Surubhoy Krishnera Nityadas. That is the first understanding. That is Sanatan Goswami was asking this question. Kiami, who am I? Okay.
निज तत्व जानी और संसार ना चाय केन वा बजिनु माया करे हाय हाय.
By his association with these bhaktas, he understands his true identity and becomes indifferent to material enjoyment. Have we at least reached this place of becoming indifferent? It's a gradual process. It's a gradual shaving down of exploiting this material world and indulging in my senses, allowing my senses to be intoxicated with the various allurements of the material world. But the principle is not to be restrictive or create a tyagi mentality. The principle is to be attracted to Krishna. There's a verse, param drisvar nivartante. When we get the higher taste, that is when the lower taste will automatically go. This is that verse I said yesterday, Vikriditam Brajavadubi itam cha Vishnu. That first we hear about the pastimes of Krishna, then we speak about them, then we remember them, and then Shuddha Bhakti. param bhaktim will actually arise in the heart. And I sent that beautiful article by my Gurudev from Venugit into our WhatsApp thread, because this is what he's talking about. Why has Krishna come? He's come anugrahaya bhaktanam manusyam deha ashtitaha. He's come to demonstrate by the beauty of his pastimes his attractive features. And that's what's going to pull us into the spiritual world, not my negation. That's not going to pull us into the spiritual. That might pull you into yoga. It's like Sharanagati itself is not bhakti. It's the threshold of bhakti. It's the beginning of bhakti. We have to know these things absolutely clearly. Okay.
Kanda bole, O Krishna, Ami Tavadas, Tomar Charan
No, no.
Chari.
Nija Tatve Jana Are Samsara. You read that
I
one?
read that. You did
By
not read the.
I didn't. By his association with those bhaktas, he understands his true identity and becomes indifferent to material enjoyment. Grieving bitterly for his predicament, he laments, Alas, alas, why did I serve Maya for so long? So at least we should come to this place. Why am I serving this illusory energy in the form of government, family, everything? Of course, we have to take care of our family. We have to balance this. But the priority should be the welfare of my soul in every single instance. Okay.
Kande bole, O He Krishna, Ami Tavadas, Tomar Charan Chari Hoile Sarvanash.
He cries profusely and prays at the lotus feet of Bhagavan. O Krishna, I am your eternal servant, but I have been ruined because I disregarded the service to your feet. Who knows how long I have been wandering aimlessly as the slave of Maya. There's a verse in the 11th canto, I'll post it later on, which says that the jiva crying piteously doesn't make any difference to Krishna, ultimately. We should do that for our own purification. But Krishna is not going to suddenly become sympathetic to the weeping. But if the heart is melting out of the jiva's sincerity, then the jiva will automatically mend his ways. The jiva will automatically do what activity is correct. Sometimes we get in this lamentable and we expect Krishna to suddenly throw a miracle down. It's never going to be that way. The miracle, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, lies at the bottom of the heart, the deepest part of ourselves, when we accept our predicament and understand why we're in this predicament through my own choice, not just one time. I said at the very beginning today, it's not a historic decision. It's like every single day. How many times are we turning away from Krishna?
Kakuti Karya Krishna, Dhake Ekabar, Kripa Kari Krishna Tare, Chadana Samsar.
O Patita Pavana, O Dinanath, please protect this destitute soul. Deliver me from your Maya and engage me in your service. If I mean that, then I'll do it. Krishna will give you the strength to do it. We're asking for that, so then do it. Well, how can Krishna help us do that?
Association.
Huh?
Give association of devotees.
Yes, that's a good answer. But we have to want the association of devotees. And when we get the association of devotees, will we take advantage of that? Sri Krishna is an ocean of mercy, and when he hears the jivas cry out in such desperation, even once, he quickly transports him across this insurmountable material energy, exactly as you said, by giving us association. When association is there, then the jiva will be reminded of his true identity. But in the end of the day, I'm saying constantly that we have to walk ourselves by ourselves.
Maya ke pichane rakhi, Krishna pane chai, bajite bajite Krishna pada padma pai. कृष्ण तारे देन निज ची चकित्र बाला बल माया आकर्षण चाड़े हाय दूत बल.
Krishna empowers the jiva with his chit shakti so that Maya's power to attract the soul gradually wanes. Yes, it's a gradual process. The jiva then turns his back on Maya and desires to attain Krishna. He worships Krishna again and again and finally becomes competent to attain his lotus feet. There's some expectancy of the jiva. He has to live up to his desires. I mean, if you suddenly sporadically just become enthusiastic and then after a week you go back down again, flat down, that's not sufficient. We need to find that place where we can sustain, where we have become totally um, disregarding Maya's allurements. It takes time.
साधु संगे कृष्ण नाम ए मात्र चाय संसार जिनीते आर कोना वस्तु नाय.
Therefore, the only infallible method to cross this insurmountable material existence is to chant Krishna Nam in the association of bhaktas. Yes, this is our fundamental desire. Sadhu Sangha, Shadava Shastre Koi. Lava Matra, Sadhu Sangha, Sadhava Siddhi Hoy. This association of devotees. And today, in this technological environment, it's I'm speaking here to people in Spain, America, England. So many different countries are taking advantage of this modern technology. It's not so easy, quite frankly, to speak to a camera and kind of imagine what's on the other side, but still at the same time, something is there. So something is better than nothing. And if our talks and readings are inspiring us individually to revere and honor this Jaiva Dharma, then everything has been successful because we know that everything is within Jaiva Dharma. We just heard Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that Shuddha Bhakti can easily be attained if one faithfully reads this Jaiva Dharma. So we're influencing ourselves to become purified, to have these truths lodged in our hearts nicely. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Jaiva Dharma ki jai, Anantakota Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo Ramo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Gaura Premanandi, Hari Bol. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai, Jaiva Dharma ki jai, Vaishnavas ki jai, Gaur Premanandi, Hari Bol. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhaveva cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnave Namo Namaha.